Now that you've learned your 6 trig functions, let's start drawing some triangles which are going to help us find the other trig function values. Drawing triangles is going to be a very useful skill, so make sure you're paying close attention to this part. Let's say we were given cosine theta equals 6 over 7. Alright, your first task is going to be to draw yourself a right triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and draw myself a right triangle right down here. Here's my right angle, and I'm going to put theta right here in this bottom corner. Now you could have put it up here if you liked, but I went ahead and put it right down here. If we know that cosine theta equals 6 over 7, first we need to find out what sides relate to cosine. So remember, cosine, that was like so, ka, toa. Cosine involved the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So that means my adjacent side is 6, so I'm going to label that. My adjacent side is 6 here. That's adjacent to my theta. And my hypotenuse is 7. So I'm going to go ahead and label my hypotenuse up here 7. Alright, from there I know that to find all my trig functions I also need to know my opposite side. So I can go ahead and use the Pythagorean theorem to find this side, and if I do that I can solve, and I'm going to get square root of 13 for my opposite side. Once you've drawn your triangle, this is exactly like the problems we've done before. You can find sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Just use this triangle, use the sides that you found to solve for those values. Let's do one more quick example. Here we have secant theta equals 8. Again, let's start by drawing ourselves our right triangle. I'm going to put my right angle here, and again I'm going to go ahead and put my theta right down here on the bottom left. Next, I know that secant, remember, secant theta equaled, secant was the reciprocal of cosine, so I know this is the hypotenuse over the adjacent. Alright, you might notice something interesting here. Here I've just got an 8. I don't have a denominator, so I might say 8 is my hypotenuse, but what's my adjacent? Keep in mind, we can always divide something by 1 without changing it. So, in this case, 8 is going to be my hypotenuse. I'll go ahead and label my hypotenuse 8. And 1, the 1 that we put on the bottom, that's going to be my adjacent side. So I'll go ahead and put my 1 here. Doing my Pythagorean theorem, once again, I'm going to get my opposite side as 3 square root of 7. Now that my triangle's set up, I can use the sides that I found to find any of the 6 trig functions without too much difficulty. Now you can do that. We did an example with cosine and secant, but you can do that with sine. You can do it with cotangent. You can do it with any of the 6 trig functions that are given to you to set up your triangle. Just make sure you label the sides according to which trig function is used.